They were the most iconic comedy group of the late 2010s. Their green screen edits, memorable slang, and locally relatable ghetto backgrounds helped them amass over 5 million followers across various platforms, making XploitComedy an almost unforgettable act. However, the story of XploitComedy's downfall perfectly exemplifies how greed, inconsistency, and a failure to evolve can tear a group apart before they fully reap the rewards of their talent. Because as you may know, XploitComedy started as a drama team in church. The name Xploit itself was taken from the Bible in the book of Daniel chapter 11 verse 32, which says, "Those who know their God shall be strong and do exploits." Coming from one of the toughest suburbs in southeastern Nigeria, Imo State could hardly inspire content creation. Whereas this was around early 2015 and the people closest to skit making in Nigeria were still starting out, like Mark Angel,
look at my face,
Crazy Clown, and the House of Ajebo. The comedy group started with Breezy and Lynx because they grew up together. However, things began to take form when they got admitted into Imo State University, IMSU, where they continued their drama acting and started gaining attention from their fellow students in church. We all started from the church, the drama group department, and from there we gained admission into Imo State University. In school, we continued our drama in the church we joined, and that was where we formed the Exploit drama group. This was where they met Cheese, and he became one of them. The drama was becoming hilarious, and their church fans suggested that they start creating skits and post them online, which they did. At this time, Breezy was already into learning graphic design and video editing, so it was easy for them to edit and post their videos. His skill automatically made him the head of the group. He was already making animation using voiceovers and posting them on the account he created with the name Xploit Lab.
Haba, message from Buhari's daughter. Sweetheart, why have you refused to pick my call?
This made it easy for them to transition into real acting, so he changed the name to XploitComedy. Rewatching their videos now makes me question my sense of reasoning. Like, how did this low-budget editing, full of obvious artificial effects, manage to be so exciting and mind-blowing for me back then? Now when I can't remember, say 2015/16 was the golden era of smartphone in Nigeria. People are moving on from button phones and starting to find entertainment on their devices instead of on TV. Seeing someone from a neighborhood like mine making funny videos with those effects was rare and exciting. It's not like now where TikTok has made everything easy. Back then, what could you edit yourself if you didn't have a laptop? What could you do with your Infinix Hot 2 or Techno Camon? Video editing apps were scarce, and XploitComedy was the only group doing it, so there was nothing to compare their videos to. We just sat down and laughed in excitement because, I'm not gonna lie, their videos were funny like man.
I know your problem.
A major connection will take place in 2016 when the group came into contact with their fourth member, Lindsay. He was already making some content on his own page, House of Lindsay, but something was different when he joined the group. He had this natural Igbo boy vibes and his acting skills were above the other members, which made him a noticeable act.
With this glass, you can know the exact amount a man has in his bank account.
Jesus! Are you serious?
The video that first caught my attention was the one titled Wicked Village Uncle, and I believe it was when this video received an above average view count that Lindsay became a regular part of the group.
When you came back to this village, you came with a brand new BMW. Then you had pink lips and 6 packs. But right now, all I'm saying is belly everywhere.
But the main video that boosted their followership was the scanning bouquet skit they posted in September 2017. The whole idea of the skit was that anybody who wanted to get married will be put inside the bucket, and the bucket would tell how many partners the person has slept with.
Step into the scanning bucket for proper confirmation.
This would help the intended spouse to know how much to pay for the bride's price. The skit went viral.
Big yam size.
Apart from their relatable skits and funny ass editing, another major concept that made XploitComedy stand out was their slang. The slangs were memorable and people used them as daily catchphrases.
Jesus.
With time, their name started becoming a household name not just in Nigeria but also in Africa, posting more than 15 videos per month, amounting to 2 million plus views per month. The content was short and funny, and it made people anticipate for more, which they were consistent with. Their content became a hub for aspiring skit makers to get themselves seen and gain engagement for their own pages. And before you know it, they started getting brand deals from different companies. They were among the winners of the Indomie Belleful Comedy Challenge for 3 consecutive years. Fast forward to 2019, they got endorsed by Patricia. Their views and subscribers were growing massively, leading to them getting the silver play button on YouTube. 2019 was in fact a huge year for XploitComedy, from launching their clothing brand to featuring Magneto in the track Busybody.
Busybody, they worry me. You won't drive car without tire.
Fans were saying things like, these guys are pure talent. I would rather spend all day watching them and laughing my heads off than listen to Kevin Hart's childhood stories or Trevor Noah's take on racism. People were actually comparing them to international comedy stars. That's how big they had become. Nevertheless, while it was clear that they were in a better spot than ever, 2019 would also mark the point at which XploitComedy began to fall apart. While being interviewed by Punch newspaper in 2018 when asked, what can tear your group apart? The answer was, we do not think there is anything that can tear us apart. However, this reply turned out to be far from the truth. If you take a good look at their chat trend, you don't need to be an analytic expert to know that something began to go horribly wrong. Because while the XploitComedy group was having a big year in 2019, they began making some changes that people may later tag irrelevant and creating expectation for what was coming next that they couldn't even live up to. They mentioned starting their series called Housefly, but they ended up dropping just 3 episodes. Entering 2020, presumably the pandemic could be seen as a hindrance to them not posting like they normally do. However, the truth is they did, but on 4 different pages instead. The members of the group began creating personal channels. Lindsay went back to his channel House of Lindsay, Lance created Afro Lines, Cheesy created Soft Cheesy, and this was where things began to scatter within the group. You see, before the pandemic hit, the boys had finished school and moved to Lagos, aiming to stay closely connected with the entertainment industry. There is even a video of them together during the pandemic proving they were in the same location, and creating content should have been easy and consistent.
Blood, the coronavirus, they finished me.
You got coronavirus?
But ironically, it was as if they went their separate ways online. This miscalculated step would eventually lead to their downfall. The separation didn't just affect the kind of content they made, but also fractured their fan base, forcing fans to choose side on who to follow. The videos got longer because they were chasing watch hours. They stopped dropping those short clips that blew them up in the first place. This could be understandable because, yes, longer video means more cash from their content, but here's the thing, they weren't consistent with these new videos. Viewers were left hanging. Some of their stores started feeling less creative, you know, and because everyone was posting on their own pages, you hardly ever saw the whole crew together anymore. People got bored real quick, and before you know it, fans were bouncing out to check other skit makers who were actually putting out stuff regularly. I miss XploitComedy back in those days. I just want to say I'm happy to see some of the members of XploitComedy. How I wish the team can make us laugh again. These days, I only enjoy the XploitComedy throwbacks. Nowadays, Breezy is the only one we see handling the main channel, with the whereabouts of the other crew members unknown. Despite his effort to keep the channel alive, it's been in vain. Views on their videos have drastically declined from a channel that once gained more than 300k views per video to now struggling to reach 5k. Fans leave disappointed comments like, too much edit, go back to the old ways. The downfall of Xploit hurts me. What is happening with the others that was with you? They stood at the gates of stardom, but their own lack of patience, individual greed, and inability to sustain momentum amidst the meteoric fame caused everything they had worked so hard for to slip away. To put their unfinished journey into perspective, as of the time I'm making this video, there is only but one article or interview about them, the one by Punch newspaper. This single piece of media coverage speaks volume about how prematurely their story was cut short. While we still hope an exploit comeback someday, their downfall serves as a cautionary tale about the fragility of success without consistent evolution and sacrifice for greater good. Maybe the most iconic stars inevitably born brightest before flaming out, but the truth is, Xploit had all the potentials to transcend that pattern if only they stayed true to the brotherhood that bettered their magic. Thanks for watching. My name is Milor Hilary. Please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.